Hello, everybody. I apologize for keeping y'all so late. I got ready to get on and realized that the sound wasn't working. So luckily, I'm well stocked with batteries. So I put a new battery in and here I am. So it's so good to see all of you. And I've got a lot of fun things to do today. But if I look a wee bit tired, it's because I am. I can tell the world now that Mark went to the beach this past week on his motorcycle and he loves the ocean. One of the benefits of him leaving Texas was he's closer to the ocean here. So he's had a great week. He's on his ride back home. Can't wait to see him. But anyway, the reason I'm telling you this is because I sleep terribly when he's gone. And so I think the earliest I got to sleep this week was 3:30. Last night it was 4:30. And that would be fine if I could sleep in, but I have little dogs and they need to get up early and they go out to potty. And then it's like, oh, a couple hours later, it's breakfast time. So I was looking today when I was putting on my makeup, I said, my eyes look a little bloodshot. So I'm hoping to get some good sleep this week. And it's been a busy week, but I got some good steam cleaning. I did all of the rugs upstairs because I'm starting my fall cleaning. So I've gotten some good stuff done this week. I've done a few good things I can't wait to share with you. My crocheting is going along really well. And at night, at least late at night, since I can't fall asleep, I've been binge watching some great shows. One was on BritBox. I think I wrote it in our group as Acorn, but it's BritBox, and it was Blood. Really good 2-season miniseries. And then I watched Bodyguard on Netflix last night, saw all of the episodes of that. So I've been catching up on my TV. But anyway, so let me see who is here and then we'll get started. Today is pretty much craft day. I was hoping to have my Indigo Quilt ready for you, but it's about 1.5 rows away from being done. And when I say row, I have a 16-inch long arm. So row is how much I can get done in one pass. And I wanted to get it done so badly, but I said, do not rush this because this is for Mark and I'm hoping he's going to treasure it for years. And so I want to do it right. Oh, and I'll show you when I get it off my machine. But remember how I showed how I like to kind of grade some of my seams? Well, just to tell you, be careful. It's one thing to grade on fabric that's going to be used for clothing. That has a higher thread count. Quilt fabric doesn't have a very high thread count compared to some of the fabrics. So be careful. Don't grade too closely because I've got about 10 places, some of them real tiny, but where the stitches have started to come loose. So be very careful. You do need that quarter of an inch seam allowance when you can, because under the tension of a long arm, it's real easy because, I like to get it nice and smooth, and that's when the seams are more likely to pop open. And if it's going to be for an art quilt or wall hanging, that's not a problem. But when it's going to be used on a bed and washed every couple weeks, you want to make sure all your seams are sewn really well. Shorten your stitch length. I used Kona cottons for so much of it, even for the indigo that I dyed. And on that, I wish I had reduced my stitch length to 1.8 everywhere. So anyway, just good thing to remember. Let's see who is here today. And I'm hoping I got all the paint off, but I'll show you what that's about. I got some fun stuff for you. All right, Marcia, here bright and early. You are amazing. Diana B, hi, sweetie. Southern Oregon is overcast and nice and cool. How is the fire going, Diana? I was so worried about that. I felt so bad. And Jody is here. Yay, Jody. I loved, what is her, now her name just went right at Cheryl Huggins. I loved her advice for you. So, and that's got to be better. Oh, good, sweetheart. Good job. She is going to kick some cancer rump. She said it nicely, too. I would have said it, everything she's been through. Oh, yeah. Oh, let me tell you. But Mitty is here. Hi, sweetie. So yesterday, my daughter and her best friend, it's so sweet. They reconnected, I guess about 6 months ago. And this is her childhood friend. And it has been so good for her to get back with Misha. So I want to say hi to Becky and hi to Misha. They wanted to come over. I wanted to say hi and give Misha a big hug. And so I thought, what do I do when they're here? Becky said, we can't stay long. And I thought, Then I thought, hey, let's do some crafting. Well, I got thinking, well, we could make some polymer clay beads. Now that takes too long. We could, finally I came out, I looked over and saw all of the birdhouses I had bought last year. I was supposed to do as a summer project. So what we did is we each picked a birdhouse, and then I got out the paints. I said, this is going to be back to kid week, today. And we sat and painted birdhouse. And it was a nice way while we just chatted and caught up to have something to do. And I made them non-dairy brownies and wanted, because my daughter cannot handle the protein in dairy. So I was like, all their old childhood favorites had dairy in them, and I didn't have a good dairy substitute. But it was wonderful. It was such a great, it was so great because, when your kids grow up and get busy with their own lives, you start missing the days when they and their friends would hang around and you'd hear giggles and fun. So it was wonderful. So hello, Kathy B. Oh, Kathy B is here. Yay, Kathy Boy is here. SJ is here all the way from England. Oh, hon, this is great. It must be 10:30 over there. Oh, that is so wonderful. Pat Fry is here. What is this? Old home week? This is great. I love it. Yay. Oh, I am so glad this morning when I was so tired. Oh, and the doorbell rang. I got back to bed after I let them out. Got back to bed, the doorbell rang, and I throw on a robe and I stumble to the door, and it's somebody campaigning. But he was for the right party, so I was kind, but I thought, oh my gosh, I'm half asleep. The dogs are barking. I can't hear. But anyway, it was nice to see young energy out there working for the country. So I said, don't worry, we would not miss voting. There are too many, especially women's issues, that we have to vote and stop the bad things happening. So anyway, but so that was interesting. What a way to start a day. But anyway, gosh, SJ is here. That is so exciting. Aw. It's your wedding anniversary. Happy anniversary. How wonderful. September 18th. Oh, wow. And then tomorrow, I think, tomorrow is the Queen's funeral. That should be very interesting. And we send all of you, B and you, we send you our love and understanding. We all knew she was 96, but somehow it was like she was going to live forever. How in the world could we lose the Queen? So we can't imagine how tough a day tomorrow will be for all of you. But just know we're here for you. We think about you. And she was amazing. amazing. I have such respect for that woman. So, you want to see the first? Okay, you saw one of the things because I had a picture of it. And let me, oops, how did I get that? Okay. You saw a picture of it. So here are my little ghost. 23 years. Oh, wow. 23 years of marriage. That, honey, I love those stories. I love that. I love hearing that. That is phenomenal. 11 a.m. tomorrow. Okay. So I think Mark's got it programmed to record because that'll be a little early for us. But anyway, but here are, you remember the little ghosts that I made last week? I took air dry clay and rolled it into a circle and then put these over paint bottles so they could kind of be shaped, and then took and made little eye slits. And then after they were dry, I let them dry for a couple days. I have about 3 coats of paint inside and 3 or 4 on the outside. The reason I did so much paint is the air dry clay is very delicate. And so even with this, I'm going to have to be really careful with them. I don't know where I'll store them the rest when it's not fall. But here's my biggest one. This was the one that I had problems with the clay cracking, and so I had to recondition it, and it did so well. Now I have painted them. I mixed in some glow-in-the-dark paint, but I haven't charged them up enough to really try it. So when I do that, I'll take a picture and show it to you on a Sunday. Oh, actually, this is the biggest one. This is the one. This is the one that the clay was cracking. And I think they came out just as cute as can be. And you can see where I just kind of ruffled the clay and kind of flared it out, as you know, because they're supposed to be floating. So I think these are cute. They're going to go on the mantle, and I think they're precious. Now, our drum roll, please. I want to show you my newest creation. Do you see this? Now, I haven't finished painting it for sure, but that's one of the reasons I was running a little late today. And, but this is a paper mache pumpkin. Okay. Now, it's supposed to be an orange pumpkin, but the way when I made it, it kind of got scrunchy looking. So, but I want to show you something that might surprise you. Do you see this? And here is the back of it. I just made it, and I can't wait. I'm going to make more. It's not my favorite thing. I'm a person who doesn't like to get my hands dirty. No, I mean, I'll go out and plant plants forever and not wear gloves. But any kind of gooiness, I'm not a fan of. So, but that came out so cute that I can't wait to do more. Oh, that is wonderful, SJ. That is so, so nice. So now let's take a moment, show you a couple things I bought, and then I'll talk to you about how you can make one of these yourself. Because you won't have to, I don't think, go out to buy anything. Everything you need to make that pumpkin you have right now at home. All right, just a couple things I got this week. You know what? 10 yards of fabric's heavier than you think. This is my pineapple fabrics order, and I'm so, so excited about it. Oh, remember I told you white erasers, white erasers. Get yourself a pack of white erasers, and every pencil that you use, even if it's brand new, put a white eraser on it. And the reason, whoops, my little gel thing came off. The reason I'm such a fan of white erasers, white or gum, is because the red erasers or the blue erasers that come on pencils have dyes in them. So you can be working along very happily and erase something. I did it on fabric one time. It left a red mark that would not come out, would not, no matter what I tried. And so I keep white erasers on all of my pencils. And that way, if I get a smudge of something, I can take my white eraser, and even if it's not a pencil smudge. So I'm going to see how to open this fabric. This is, remember, I think it was last week or the week before, I told you that I had wanted to get some more fabric to dye because I haven't done my Procyon dyeing yet. I've done the indigo dyeing twice and loved it so much that there's going to be a third time. And so I said, I need to buy some more white fabric. Now, you can buy prepared for dyeing fabric, but it's in a little bit short supply here and there. And so the price has gone up. And so I look for just the best price on any white fabric. And if you scour the fabric, which means, I will wash it with hot water. That way it shrinks, pre-shrinks too. But I will just wash it most of the time 2 times just to make sure that any chemicals or sizing or anything that was put on the fabric at the factory is off. And then that allows the dyes to sink in and be worked. So there's no magic about, you have to use prepared for dyeing. That just means fabric that they didn't spray any of the finishes on. So, but you can do it yourself by washing it. So look at this beautiful fabric. This is from Pineapple Fabrics, and it was manufactured by Andover Fabric. And it is just lovely. I'll show you the end of the bolt. Whoops, here we go. I hope it's cleared up so you can see it. But I got this bolt, 10 yards. There was a sale, Labor Day sale. And so I got 10 yards for $43. That's $4.39, I think, a yard. And then, so the sale was pretty good. But then they sent a free shipping that next day, or when I bought it, a free shipping one day only. And I had to buy it. I mean, free shipping plus sale price. So thank you, Pineapple Fabrics. You're so wonderful. And I love it. They send such a nice thing in with the fabric I buy. Did something happen? Okay, now let me see. I want to make sure I don't miss anything you say. So those are the 2 things that I have bought this week. I actually bought a couple weeks ago. I'm trying to think if there was anything else. I bought a few little things for crocheting, like little stitch markers, which look like little plastic safety pins. And then I bought plastic yarn needles because I'm going to have to sew my hood thing together with the yarn. So little things like that. But, all right, let's move on. A little bit later, after we do show and tell, I've got all of the leaf things stitched together. Now I have to turn them inside out and finish them because if you remember, we're making a garland of fabric leaves, 3-dimensional leaves. So that will be so much fun. Yes, England gave them a bank holiday for the funeral. Isn't that just shows you how much their queen means to them. That's pretty remarkable. All right. So let's come look at this pumpkin. You won't believe it. somehow I saw something about it yesterday and thought, oh, I really need to get those leaves finished for the show today. And well, I haven't sewn that latest mandala yet. And don't have the quilt off the frame. Decoupage pumpkin, and off I was running. So I'm not good at teaching you how to finish things, but I'm great at teaching you how to start stuff. So here we go. Let's look at this. Okay. All righty. Let me get the camera up. All right. So what we're talking about today is how do we make a pumpkin. You can buy them at the craft store, those wonderful foam pumpkins, but oh my gosh, they're so expensive. A pumpkin this size would be $30. So, you know, Deb is way too cheap to spend $30. I just lost a piece of yarn that I had over here. Let me see. Where is, here it is. Okay. So I'm going to give you a couple, hold on, let me get that paintbrush in some water. I'm going to give you a couple shortcuts real quickly so that you can look for, hold on just a second. Let me give you 2 shortcuts that you can use to find out. Okay. Oh, good point. You know what would be great is to make some fabric pumpkin leaves to go on top of the pumpkin. All right. How do I do this? I've got something I need to paste it. There it is. Okay. So this should be, let me see. I don't know if that's 1 or 2. If it's only 1, I'll give you another one. But you can go to online and search paper mache pumpkins, because when I found the first one, take care, SJ hon. When I found the first instructions, I was thrilled. I never thought of using a grocery store bag. In the grocery store bag, I put extra because we always have a mountain of these extra grocery store bags. I have scraps of batting and stuff that I've had left. In fact, believe it or not, this is what I used to make this. So when the top was all dry, I made a slit in the bottom, pulled this out so I could use it again. Depending on how full you make this, you could make small pumpkin up to big pumpkins. So you take a grocery store bag and fill it full. You know, some people do tiny little newspaper balls of newspaper, but I don't get that. So this worked for me. Now, I've already tied it and then folded the handles back down and put some masking tape on them. Then I'm going to come up here and I'm going to tie a little knot, and we'll get back to quilting soon. I promise. It's just right now when the change of the seasons, especially fall, I'm like a little kid again, let me tell you. All right. So I take this, I put a piece of scrap of yarn, any kind of string, and I'm going to go around right at the middle. I'm going to come in here and just give it a little knot. Knot it around the original part of the string. And then before I tighten this, I'm going to make sure I've got it snug enough to give, because this is going to give the ridges in the pumpkin. Then without cutting it, I'm going to go 1/3 of the way again. And I'm going to loop it around this back one so I know it's connected and they'll stay in touch. Then I'm going to come back here 1/3 of the way from this, because I think 6 to 8 is the right amount of lobes to give the pumpkin. So then I'm going to make a knot back here at the beginning so I know it'll stay tight. Then I'm going to take this fat side, go around, whoops, and I'm a little bit short, but I'm hoping that you get the idea now. Because when I can, I'll get another piece of yarn and tie this off. So that way you get the lobes, okay? See how it looks like a pumpkin? All right, so pretend you got that done. And then what you're going to do, whoops, and I forgot to get my glue. I'll be right back. Let me go grab my glue. Okay. Now what you're going to do, once you have that tied and the stem taped, is you're going to take a good 1 cup of flour, put it in the bowl. To that, you can add like a 1.5 cups of water, and I would put 1/2 of one of these little bottles of glue. Okay. All right. Take care, SJ Sweet. Laura, hi, sweetheart. So, I would put like 1/2 of one of these bottles of glue in it. And I didn't at first, but that really does help it to become a little stiffer. So white glue, flour, and about 1.5 cups of water. And really whisk it, whisk it, whisk it. Okay, sweetie. Whisk it, whisk it, whisk it. Whisk it until there are no more lumps. And it's about the consistency of pancake batter. Now, so once you've got that, well, let me leave it back here. Then I took my favorite. I had some newsprint, but that tears too easily. My favorite is brown craft paper. And I keep, I have a roll of craft paper, but also when gifts are sent to me, I will say, not gifts. When I order things, like Amazon will put crumpled brown paper in the shipping box. And I save it, I iron it flat, because you can use it like when my grandchildren come over for art and craft projects to lean on. But I found that I did have some large newsprint that I had cut in strips. But once I dipped it into the flour mixture and then tried to rub the excess off, it wanted to tear. This will not tear. And you can just cut it whatever width you want, multiple. You can also use paper towels. Let's say you're putting the strips on and they get a little rough. Well, then all you have to do is dip this in the flour mixture and kind of wring it out. And then you can lay this over the pumpkin to kind of bridge some of the little stops and starts. So, okay, I'll show. So I'm not going to really do it because it's very messy. Yes. And so pretend that I've got this flour and white sugar, flour and white glue mixture all done over here. You dip the paper in, you get it nice and covered and rub the excess off. And then what I first do is like come in for the creases. And the paper will conform because it's all wet with, you funny girl. But see, I did use some newsprint first, but I had to use a lot more of that. But you just come in here and do the creases. Then you would wet another strip. Sometimes I use the wider ones. But your hands will get incredibly messy, but it all washes so easily. So you come in and then the next one, pretend it's already dipped. The next one would come this way. And the best thing to do is do a layer, let it air dry. If you have a fan, put a fan on it. and then come back and do another batch crosswise, or do the first batch crosswise and the last one up and down. But you will use more paper strips than you thought you would. So, and I've got all of these because guess what? I'm going to do another one. So, and I'd like to get one a little taller so that it can be the orange pumpkin. When I saw the shape of this one, I thought it's got to be one of the blue pumpkins because of that shape. So I will keep playing with my grocery bags, find a grocery bag that's a little taller. But how easy is this? You can fill it just with the grocery bags. They do a great, see, these are all grocery bags. You can use your scrap batting. And like I said, this was inside this one. I made, once the top all dried, I made a slit in the bottom, pulled this out, and then did a patch right there. Did a patch with where I had taken that out. So, because that's nice not to have to waste, you know, I just keep using the same supplies. I just need to make sure, and you know what you could do? If you want a certain shape and you want to hold that shape, because, you know, plastic grocery store bags only act a certain way, you could take and push it like a more upright shape, put a piece of masking tape around it. Oh, you had an air conditioner. Okay, hon. Oh, that's right, because she sold her house in Texas, going to move to Maryland. And guess what? There's so many details that come with that. So let's say you want, instead of being a flat squash shape, you want this kind of shape. Then just run a piece of masking tape firmly around it. Don't run yarn, because yarn will give it another lobe. So, but run a piece of masking tape or cellophane tape, anything that'll hold it, while you then turn around. And in fact, I'll go ahead and show you, because I think I'd like to use this to make my next small orange. And just make sure the lobes get fully filled out. Okay. So let me show you what I mean. I don't want this one to be so squat. I want it to be taller. So good to see Debbie. Love it. I'm so excited. She's going to be an East Coast gal. So I can't wait. So see what I'm doing? You can manipulate the shape of these with good old masking tape. Okay. And masking tape will stick pretty good. And now, instead of having a low squat one, I have more of a traditional stand up. So I just have to finish my yarn, and make sure you take the paper mache and wrap it really good around the stem, because you want that stem to be really connected. And you could wrap more tape around this to make it thicker, or just add more paper mache. Now, and as I said before, 1 cup of flour, about 2 ounces of white glue, and 1.5 cups of water, and just stir it until it's really smooth. You don't have to go out and buy paper mache filling. You've seen bags of it. They're expensive. So I would say just use paper. And I think the brown bags, if you have brown bags in the closet, so brown bags work. So anyway, there is a quick tutorial. Once it gets all dried, then what you're going to want to do is cover it with a good white paint, a white acrylic. Let me see. Let me bring this over. I got a wide brush, and I just used a good white acrylic paint and covered the whole thing. And then I just got my other colors and started painting with it. And I gathered up some pictures I found online, and to see what does a blue pumpkin really look like. And so then it's just kind of your interpretation. And I told you I'm not fully done with this. I just wanted to have enough done so you could see the difference. This is what it started out, but I love all the bumpy lumpiness. Isn't that great? Yes, it's so good to see Jody here and feeling better. Thank goodness, because I imagine having your white blood count cells so low, that would be tricky. But it's good to have a wider sponge brush, and then you can just go to town. If you want it to have a little glisten, you can use some little metallics. And if you wish to, it probably would be a good thing to either Mod Podge it. In fact, you can use Mod Podge in the flour mixture. It'll give a little bit of a shine to it, but you could go ahead. But let me show you. If you put enough layers, hear that? You can have a pretty solid. Now, I don't know how this would manage up in the hot attic in the summer. It might not hold. If you put a good acrylic sealer on, probably it would. But anyway, but I was so excited. And I thought, this is all stuff I have. It's not going to cost any money. And so now I have this blue pumpkin. I already had all this. You can use flour and salt and make a dough to make your ghost even. So you know, Deb, if I can do it cheaply, that's the way to go. Isn't that fun? And I just made it with stuff around the house. So after I make the next pumpkin, when I get all of the paper strips, paper mache on here, then I will come in and make a slit and pull out this bag and everything else, and then have something to use again. Oh, thank goodness for the internet. I tell you, it would be hard without the internet. And I forget, I was doing something different and saw something on, I don't know. Oh, I was looking for fall decorations and stumbled on a site that said paper mache pumpkin. Paper mache, because I've been wanting lots of pumpkins to sit around. Oh, and if you want to use this pumpkin outside, make sure you get a good acrylic sealer, something that will make it resistant to water, and that way then you can go ahead and put it outside. But these will probably be for inside. I love pumpkins, so it's my way of having the house full of pumpkins. And you know, if I don't like getting my hands gooey, then I love how easy this is because I'm going to make plenty more. So I think these are all the ghosts that I'm going to end up making for now, but I'm going to make some more pumpkins. And you can make, you can try to, I was thinking I would like a gooseneck gourd shape. How do I do that? Just try to figure out how you can stuff some, maybe you could use a longer plastic garbage bag. In fact, I have some that I used to take, long bags that I used to take to retreats. So I might find one of those and make myself a gooseneck gourd. All right, so that's the fall crafts for today. And honest to goodness, I think they're precious. I think they're so cute. And all from stuff I had around the house. Oh, hi, Miss Mary. You bought 3 plastic pumpkins. That's wonderful. I even thought, because there's so many, you can decoupage beautiful fall napkins on them. I've been seeing pumpkin crafts thinking, I wish I had some extra pumpkins. I know I bought, either it was plastic or foam one, and it bleached because of the sun. I just painted it with acrylic paint, painted it beautiful again. There we go. I thought I would show you. Some of you know that I have been doing my very first pattern. Very first. I've been crocheting for 58 years, but it was only what my grandmother taught. I didn't know what to do. And so, thank goodness y'all told me how to join yarns, because I'm getting ready to put a new ball on. But this is a pattern, woodland hooded scarf. And you can look on YouTube and it'll give you directions, and you can buy a pattern from the designer. And it's very inexpensive, $3 and maybe 50 cents, something like that. But look at this beautiful stitch. Do you see this wonderful stitch? It's got a 3D effect. And that comes from when you're doing your single crochet. You know, the stitch looks like this. Well, you just use the outer part of the loop. Instead of going underneath that, you use the outer part. And then when you come around the other side, when you use the outer part, it's the opposite. And it makes a wonderful kind of ribbing look. And I didn't know you could do that with crochet. And then the body of this is you do a single crochet, you do a chain, and then you go every other hole. So single crochet and a chain, and go in every other one. The chain giving you a little extra space to get to the next stitch, since you're just crocheting every other one. So it's coming along. I haven't been counting the rows as I've done them and going, wait a minute, how do you tell what's a row? With this velvet yarn, it all kind of runs together. Oh yeah, it's just really, really neat. And so I started and got about 4 rows done. And because you have to chain on 237 chains, because it's very long. It's going to be a hooded scarf with pockets. So it's got to be long enough to fold back up and create the pockets. So it's quite long. Anyway, I got about 4 rows done. I went, I tried counting. It's supposed to be 101 stitches, and that's every other one. So you would have 200 stitches. And I went, wait a minute, this is not 101 stitches. So I pulled it all out and did it again. But what I've been doing to keep myself motivated when Mark was gone is I told myself, once all my chores were done, I got to sit down, binge watch something streaming, and work on this crochet project. And boy, this velvet yarn is so soft. I'm loving it, loving it, loving it. So I just want to show you it's coming along really well. And in fact, when I'm done with this show, I'm going to go back up there, put my feet up, and just relax and do some more crocheting. So any question? Oh, yes. It's kind of fun. You know, I've always kind of crochet. I've never really finished a project because I just pick up and crochet when I want to keep my hands busy, but not doing any particular pattern and making it up as you go along. It's like, But plus the old yarns were kind of scratchy. So I'd get them a big enough size, like to be an Afghan. And then I thought, I don't like the way these feel. So I've never quite finished them. But I'll have to show you all my UFO crochet projects one day. All right, let's see. So what's going on? Oh, yes, you please be really careful with these wildfires. The other night I went out to put my chickens away and smelled somebody must have been burning leaves or wood. And I know they're building a new house a street over. And you know how sometimes they'll burn, the yard trash or who knows. And I thought, I don't like smelling that. That's the only thing that worries me this time of year. But luckily, we've had a lot of rain in the last month, so I think we're safer. But so I'm loving this crocheting, and thank you to all of you who have sent in hints and techniques to use because, you know, I've been crocheting for 58 years, but I'm a brand new beginner. How's that for? That's an oxymoron. So anyway, but I'd like to say I had more done. You know, I've got this beautiful Madeira rayon thread. You won't believe what I'm hearing. Yay! Do I look like a teenager or what? I'm so excited. So Mark is home. But anyway, I want to take and do some outline stitching, thread painting with this. I was thinking about getting some of this gorgeous charcoal gray metallic yarn and doing some couching. I'm sorry, the dogs are gonna bark. They are so glad Daddy's home, let me tell you. So, anyway, so I've got a bunch of these leaves to turn inside out. I got a lot to do. Oh, thank you. I think he said he was going to try to come in and say hi. So we'll watch for him. But I love when he goes away, but I love when he comes back more. So, okay. I think we'll get ready and start looking at your show and tell. And don't forget, too, that if you... Oh, thank you. In fact, if anyone wants the name of the yarn, I'm not sure I brought down the wrapper, but if you want the name of the yarn, then just email me at the same email address I'm going to give you right now. I know, finally I can sleep. So, and it's the same way for him. He even said from the hotel he doesn't sleep good. He ends up just like taking a series of naps. Oh. Anyway, I'm a silly one, aren't I? Hello. Oh my gosh, you're all sweaty. Maybe I should say hi to him once he's showered. Oh, hi, sweetie. That's a long,
safe and sound,
long ride. How many hours?
About 6.
About 6 on a motorcycle, not sitting in a comfy car.
Well, off and on 6. As the crow flies, if you were to ride right through, it's 5.
5 hours.
With some breaks and have to stop for gas.
You're going to feel the vibrations from that motorcycle.
I can feel it.
Oh, my gosh. Oh, my gosh. They said they missed you, hon.
Hi, all.
And he's drinking his Gatorade because he has sweated a bunch. I think it was going to be in the mid-80s today. All the dogs are like, Daddy's home. So they're all happy because Mama stays up too late and makes them sleep in with her. So, but that's so exciting. Thank you. Oh, Debbie said, welcome home too. Oh, good job. Oh, is it a new house in Maryland or is it just being remodeled? That is so, I'm so happy for you. I'm so very happy for you. So that is terrific. Oh, and I'm wearing my shirt that I made, the Madras plaid. Don't look at the wrinkles because it's just, sweetie, come in and cool off, darling. Bye, sweetie. So, this is the Madras plaid I made, I got the fabric from Fabric Warehouse for $5.99 a yard and made it using one of my shirts as a pattern. And I really love it. The one thing I don't like is it wrinkles like linen, but you know what? It's got all my favorite colors. So I'm a happy girl. So a new house. Yay, Debbie. Oh, we want to see pictures. What have you picked out? What style? Oh, that's so exciting. Send Marcia a beach house. Aw. Michelle. Oh, I'll have to tell him, Michelle, you said hi too. He's been gone a whole week. He left last Sunday, which I couldn't say. I don't like to say on LiveStream. But he is back. So, oh, and I wanted to tell y'all, I have stopped coloring my hair. And so many ladies have done this during the pandemic. And I finally went, you know what? So you can see back here a little of the yellow blonde. And my hair is very light. It's it's a dirty blonde, but I have enough gray now that I've stopped coloring my hair, and it is very nice. So anyway, but a new house, we want pictures. We want to know all the exciting details because as you can, I always told Mark, if I were to able to go back in time, what would I want to do, knowing what I know now? And I think I would have been a home builder. Isn't that odd? But I love. Oh, how wonderful. That's good. So it'll be of people of like life stages and mindsets. And that's great, honey. I'm so excited for you. And have fun at the beach house until the house is ready. So now Mark's home, and I know he got home really good. So let's do show and tell, and then I'll show you again. I think all I have left to do is show you these leaves that I'm working on. Okay. I gotcha. Okay, that's wonderful. Jody, stop. Oh, Jody, you're being so funny. In fact, I'm kind of sad because there's only a slight hint of pink left. But that was fun. That was fun. And I'm curious to see what kind of new color or not. Well, I've heard that your texture can change and the color, all that can change after chemo. So I'm curious to see. Oh, and I've got a picture of Jody as a majorette. Yay. Because remember last week I showed my majorette picture, and come to find out, I mean, Jody has got more talent in her pinky than most of us do in our whole bodies. Talented lady. All right, let's go see your pictures. Let me turn off the light here. And you notice I'm still keeping the room clean. I'm very, very proud of me. Oh, gosh, I tell you, I always blame it on my artistic nature, but it's either that or I'm just lazy. All right, let me get out this. All right, here we go. Now let's go see what you have brought. All right. So Alexis, we still have Alexis's newest project, and she must be busy with classes started. So we'll probably, I'm sure she's got a lot going on, but hopefully we'll see a new project soon or see that one further along because she does amazing things to it. And this is Miss B's. Look at this. I'm wondering, did she do some hand painting? She did some strips? Look at that. So I'm really excited to see what that's going to become. Okay. And now we'll go back. She sent this wonderful picture because I was so choked up when I realized she got out of her deathbed, had her people help her get dressed, even with her pearls on, and get prepared to meet the new incoming prime minister. Is that just amazing? That woman, how wonderful. 2 days before her passing. It looks like she might have had an IV in her hand. I mean, just that to me makes the Queen such an amazing woman. And till the very end, she worked for her people. Then Miss Betty. Miss Betty has been working on some blue herons And I love all the stuff she put on the beach. That is amazing. You know, I've always wondered what to do with pistachio shells. And I'm thinking that's a great way to add pebbles without, because you could put a tiny little drilled hole or something like that and paint them, and they would be wonderful pebbles. But I love all the stuff, the shells, the starfish, the bits of yarn and fluff that she put on the beach. That is wonderful. Now I see this other one, and I'm not sure if she did this or a teacher did it, but it's a beautiful blue heron too. And I love the way it's standing in the shallow water. So that is terrific. All right. Then Miss Bonnie, I haven't heard from her, but hopefully she's having good success making this surcoat. So she's going to be doing some reenacting, and I think it's wonderful. All right. Then Charlene Piper. I couldn't bear to remove this beautiful lighthouse. I love the layers she did. And I love the fact that she used some glitter and organza for the searchlight on that lighthouse. That's beautiful. Way to go. All right, let's see who else. Danielle. Yes, my friend Danielle from France sent some pictures of her work. I'm so excited. Look at this. Isn't that wonderful? She really is doing a beautiful job with that. So thank you, Danielle, for sending that. Then look at this. Isn't that beautiful? Very talented woman. I love it. Love, love, love it. Okay. Then here, look at this. Isn't that beautiful? And I love how it's edged with lace. Just makes a lovely art piece. Look at this wonderful hummingbird. Beautiful, beautiful. Whoops. And then look, oh, great, great portrait work. So Danielle has a lot of talent, and I can't wait to see more and more of our Danielle. Here she is with her son's dog. Isn't that a beautiful big dog? She said he's very gentle. Thank goodness, because that's a big face on that puppy. So Danielle, thank you for your wonderful pictures, hon. So I had gotten an email from her and hadn't realized. I missed it. So, all right. Oh, I'll just show you real quickly. When I started doing where are they? I started doing the pumpkins. You know me, I started gathering all kinds of inspiration for them. So, these are a wee bit small. But not sure what I'm going to do next, but I love finding these things. Just love it. Isn't that cute? So, and here's the blue pumpkin that I was trying to use to get mine as realistic as I could. But this is what I do when I go looking to start a project. And thank goodness for the internet, let me tell you. All right. Let's see what Debbie has. Yes, I've got a new one from Miss Debbie. And this is the quilt I've shown you before. I love how each block looks framed. And then here is this pattern I think she said came from Pineapple Fabrics. Look, she has mastered curves, let me tell you. And I love this granny square vest she saw in the window on her trip. And look at this. Is that a wonderful fall decoration or what? And you know what? It's collage style. Look at that. You just cut and stick down all of the things. Oh, this is a candle. That is so cool. And I think once she outlines it, you'll be able to go, oh, that's right, that's a candle. But isn't that wonderful? And it's just with collage. So you don't have to have a fancy paper piecing pattern or anything. Just cut, glue down, then sew it with invisible thread, whatever. I think that's phenomenal. Way to go. Okay? So see that? Now, I hadn't looked at it close enough. I've got ideas now. I love this. Now, Diana, this is the most beautiful, beautiful thing I have seen in a long time. She said that she paints on fabric. Oh my gosh, that is exquisite. That is beautiful. Way to go. And then she did this for her parents' dogs. Her parents loved it. They framed it. Then here is her Siberian tiger in progress. Beautiful eyes. And then there's her husband, who also loves a motorcycle, getting ready to take his pup camping with him. And that pup loves to go with Daddy on the motorcycle. And then look at this beautiful one. Just beautiful. Thank you, Miss Diana. And, I forgot to type in my address. But my email address, if you want to send your pictures, is OurTimeToQuilt at twc.com. You can tell I haven't had enough sleep for days. Oh, look at this wonderful rag quilt. I forgot the name of it last week, but it just came to me. It's a rag quilt. So the more you wash it, the more fluffy it will become. There's the back of it. Isn't that wonderful? Love, love, love it. Okay. And Miss Jamie is now retired from Skechers, so we're hoping we'll see more of her. Are you ready? Now, we saw this. I think you saw this last week, where she has done the witch's hands and the broomstick. And the hand and the broomsticks each had 6 different color values in it. Isn't that amazing? I love it. But the best picture of all, now that looks great, but you ready? This is Miss Jody. Isn't she just beautiful? And you can tell that she learned the appropriate way. Her posture is amazing. Look at her hand down here. That is somebody who's been in dancing lessons for a while. Everything, just her whole posture and pose is exquisite. That's our Miss Jody. Oh man, when I say I was a majorette, she was a majorette. She was the leader of her age division. So she is something else. Way to go, Miss Jody. She could twirl circles around me. Let me just put it that way. So, okay, Miss Mary. Oh, you know what? I did. Okay, look at this. I love her joy. I love her fall mystery. I just love them. You know, I've never been a big fan of scrappy quilts. I love mystery quilts, but I've never been a big fan of scrappy until this pattern came along, and it just makes them sparkle. Okay, so here we go. Now, while you're looking at this, I want to see if I can, whoops, I don't know if I can bring it up. I had tried to, no, I don't have it. Okay, I had tried to, and I'll show you some more of those things in a moment, but I was trying to remember. The Nutcracker is in this because her and her daughter would go every Christmas to see the Nutcracker. She loves the Caribbean, so the cruise ship, palm trees. And then, oh gosh, her earrings, they meant something. That was her most beloved kitty that she had. And then she loves irises, and it's a halo because she is truly an angel, and she's getting plenty of gray, so she put the gray in her hair. But now let me see if I'll have to after we're done looking at this, I'll have to find all of her descriptions because I was reading them and I was going to copy them down so I could remember. But I do love it. Okay, now Miss Melanie is in Willow Heaven right now. This is Miss Melanie I think this was when she was at the dog breeders with her new puppy, who is a golden blonde, miniature long-haired dachshund. I mean, it's a long name to this puppy. But the main thing is the puppy is gorgeous, just gorgeous. And she's so happy that her and her husband realized they had been missing something out of her life. As she said, your children grow up and they get lives of their own. The grandchildren grow up and become teenagers and busy people. So she needed this dear pup in her life. And you know what? That pup has got the best home. So she's doing a great job training it to get it to stop what it's doing. She put some beans in an empty water bottle, and she can shake it to make it sound a little attention-getting. She also plays the dog really peaceful music and takes naps with it. So they are bonding absolutely wonderfully. Look at this. Is that so sweet? And she's doing well with both of her. She's had both of her cataracts done now, so we're so happy for her. This is her husband's work on a placemat. Again, that's Dan's. And then look, these wonderful pot holder mitts. And one more picture of beautiful Willow, the most amazing puppy. So I'm so tickled that she has been sending us photos of her new baby, and she is so cute. She is such a wonderful, oops, I forgot to ask Michelle. I'm not going to zoom in on these until I get Michelle's permission to show her beautiful grandchildren. But I forgot to write her this week. I meant to. This is a wonderful quilt top she's working on. She said, though, she's angrily challenged. How many of us have put one block the wrong way? It's so easy to because you build rows and you're not looking at the rows above it. But that is a gorgeous quilt with lots of batik fabrics. Beautiful work, Michelle. Let me just check one thing really quickly. Come back to where y'all are. Yeah, I don't see Michelle here, but when she gives me permission, I'll show you her beautiful grandchildren. All right, let me go back to the pictures. Isn't this kind of psychedelic? Look at that. Isn't that cool? All right, now back to the photos. Deb, stop playing. Miss Nadine, I still have some good photos. Since I've shown these a couple times, I'll just kind of do slideshow, show and tell of Miss Nadine's. They're beautiful. If she doesn't live a storybook life, I don't know who does. I think we need some more pictures of Big Red, her beautiful horse. Look at that river Elba. And I might be saying it wrong. It might be Elba without a second syllable. Oh, and here's her video of the rain. That is just so peaceful. And I love looking at her garden. Love it. All right. So now let's see who's next. Oh, I forgot her crocheted zipper pull. Is that just so cute? I want to do some things like that. That's precious. She's got such talent, such an eye. Miss Nazi. Oh, and I wanted to tell you my cold is doing much better. I just have a little bit of sinus pain, but that's what happens when you don't sleep enough. You get sick. So look at that. Isn't that beautiful? I love stained glass quilts. Love it. And that gold fabric was a perfect choice. Then here is her fall mystery. Thank you, Miss Nazihan. All right. Let's see. Who else? Patricia Fry. I grabbed these because I think these are pictures of her new house, maybe a living room. I'm not sure. Oh, it's just charming looking. So she's got a bay window even in her bedroom. Isn't that wonderful? So I absolutely love that. Wouldn't it be nice to have a little reading area? A little pie table with a lamp and a comfy chair to read in. Oh, that is beautiful. So, Miss Pat, we hope it's very soon that you're settled into your home, honey. Miss Polly, oh my gosh. The more I look at this quilt, the more I think it could not be more perfect with that gorgeous red in her dining room. That is beautiful, beautiful. And she is working on the Color My World quilt from the quilt show. Beautiful job. I mean, for a new quilter, she sure does take on the tough projects, doesn't she? I love that. I love her moxie. Okay, let's see who's next. SJ, and I think SJ sent me a new one. Okay, this is her Lisa Capon quilt along, quilt as you go that she's been working on. Love it. And these pictures are, now, you know what? I forgot the name of the thing which she showed me, but I'll show you. It's this, and the ride lasts for half an hour. Up to 200 people can be in that glass tube. You get in, it slowly rises up to the top and then slowly descends again. And what a view. That is beautiful. And then, she said she would give me information about this block. This is gorgeous. I love that block because remember it has the raised cross area in the center. How wonderful. Okay, now let me see. Then you saw her group of granny squares that she's going to make an Afghan from. I love it. And then, here is the white square that she first did. It really shows that beautiful raised cross. I've got to figure out how she does that. And then these were her newest blocks from Lisa Capon's quilt as you go. Block of the week, month. And then she wanted to show her latest crocheted. I mean, that's a beautiful, delicate crocheted shawl. Isn't that pretty? And I assume she has to change color every row. Wow. So thank you, Miss SJ, and take good care of yourself tomorrow, hon. All right, I think those are it. So I'm so excited to get those new ideas in my head because I see things you do and go, I want to do that too. So thank you very much for sharing that with us. Hold on one second. I know. Now, why is that thing hanging over like that? Oh, well, I will fix it. later. I think I've been tugging on it a little much. So anyway, whoop, I need to come back to y'all. Let me close that down because right now, there. All right, I'm going to, oh, thank you. Yeah, this I got. Actually, I bought it on eBay. It came from China. And it does it, I mean, it just goes perfectly. So thank you. I appreciate that, sweetie, very much. And all right. So let me show you how I turn one of these leaves inside out. Let me pick one that's a little bit easier. I picked up one that has more twists and turns than you can imagine. So I think I'll go to something simpler. And I like to use what's called a bone folder, and I'm looking for it. I've had it out, but I'll show you. Oh, here it is. I like bone folder, and then my second thing is a chopstick because they're wonderful for turning things, and they're gentle in use. I've used everything in my day, and unfortunately have sometimes used the first thing I could grab, and it ended up like an ink pen that ended up marking the fabric and then ended up tearing it. So you don't want it to tear through the end. I'm coming up right here at the end of the stitching, cutting off that point so I can turn it more easily. Then here where I have little indentations, I trim in to the indentation, so that'll make that easier to do. If you have a big curve, then definitely trim in. Just do these little, in wood you call them kerf cuts, but just these little, what they are is they reduce the tension in that area of the sewing. They reduce the tension so that when you turn them, they lay more flat. So, danger, danger. Yeah, an emery board. Now that's a pretty good, as long as it's, oh, and I'm using my hematostats. Hematostats? Something like that. I'm using these to do the turning because they are the perfect tool for this. I bought them years ago after watching Eleanor Burns use them, and I've only used them a little bit. But I found that when you need them, there's nothing else that works as good. All right, so by reaching in and grabbing the farthest most point, I was able to turn this. Now what I'm going to do is come in here with my bone folder and push out all of my little edges and points of this one, because it has just a few little things. Point, and then come in this side. And like I say, you could use a chopstick to do this. And all right, this is called a bone folder, even though it's made of plastic, because they used to take bones and sharpen them, and you would use this to fold paper, to crease anything you wanted to crease. And so even though it's made of plastic, we still call it a bone folder. So here is this leaf, and then what I'll do is I found a woolly nylon that I'm thinking of using for the stems. Either that, or I'll go back to the dark brown I used before, and I'm going to come in, and I said stems, I meant veins. And I'll come in, let me show you the original, I've got it down here. The original pattern I used, this, so I will look and just kind of do, I won't do all of those tiny little veins, but I'll do the main ones. And that will give the leaf definition, and then it will go on the, it will go on what is in that? Jute. It will go on that to hang as part of the banner. And that will be really pretty. So when I finish it and I hang it up on my mantle, I'll take a picture and show you. All right. So I think I've pretty much shown you that. Then I'll just take and flip these inside, tuck them inside, do an invisible little running stitch or slip stitch, close that, and then hand tack it. I haven't worked out my stems, but I think what I'm going to do is use pipe cleaners. And that way I can kind of give the stem a little shape. So that'll be a pretty easy way. And I just will leave open a little area so I can push the pipe cleaner in. So I think this one's going to be, look at that. That's going to be really pretty when I do that. But I've got a bunch of these. So, and I've already shown them using my scrap batting. So, all right. And yes, I think I am going to add some leaves to my pumpkin. So, because, let me show you. I think that would be awesome. I mean, talk about representational. All right. Well, I'm hoping you won't mind if I sneak out a little early because I have missed that fella and I'm going to go find out all about his trip home. So hopefully he showered now because he was sweaty, wasn't he? But anyway, you have a great week. And the ghost and I will hold down the fort until we see each other again. And I'll have this completed by next week. And maybe even this one to go with it. So take care. Have a great, great week. And we'll spend some more time Thursday night and next Sunday. All right. Take good care. You are the best. You make me so happy. Well, when I say 10 to him, I'll just give him a hug just because he's here. But he's pretty self-sufficient. But yes, I will. All right, everybody. Take good care. Oh, let me quickly write OurTimeToQuilt at twc.com and send me pictures for show and tell. If you want any instructions or patterns that I might have, I'll be happy to share with you. And this week is officially fall, so enjoy. Find something, whether it's just go outside, gather up a few natural leaves that have fallen and a few acorns and make yourself a little place on the table for them. It'll just brighten your soul right up. Okay? Take care. Thank you, everyone, for joining me today. Kathy, Boyd, it was so good to see you. All of you, Diana, you all. And once again, thank you to Miss Marcia. She is the hostess with the mostest. So, Laura, it was so good to see you. And my monkey Mary, who always makes me smile. Take real good care, everyone. See you next week. Bye-bye.